Yeah. Now, will this be a dangerous position? Will this be considered to be dangerous? As Derek Warwick managed to convince the marshals in Manicure, and he got back into the race. They pulled him clear of the gravel. Back into the race. There goes race leader Philippe Alliot, just through the S's, where Reuter is beached. Stefan Johansson through the Peraltada, heading Court Spice and Lamborghini here having a nice race-long battle. But there's dark clouds coming up. Look at those black clouds coming up on the horizon. Are we going to be in for more rain? There's the positions. Peugeot, Jaguar, Mercedes, and the two Yes cars, both coming up there. On that note, join us after the break. We join us in Mexico City, 25 laps into the race. Black clouds looming up over the circuit. This circuit here right in the middle of the world's largest city. We have some sunshine here, having just said that. Sun's out. This could be the calm before the storm. There is Derek Bell in the number 59 Yost Porsche at the head of a gaggle of cars. Jaguars and Mercedes all calling over each other. There's David Brabham and the two Mercedes there. Jean-Louis Schlesser in the first, the Mercedes. Remember that Michael Schumacher is a lap down at the moment, having made his pit stop. Schumacher coming out to pass. Schlesser's having a look down the inside, and he takes... No, he doesn't. He almost does. Having a go at Schlesser. But it looks like it might well rain. Derek Bell, David Brabham. Bell, of course, being lapped. Brabham at the moment in third place, keeping both those Mercedes off. Nice to see Derek back racing again at the moment. He's doing most of his racing in the States now. We saw him at Le Mans this year. And Schumacher unlaps himself from Jean-Louis Schlesser. Yellow flag out. That's because of that Reuter incident, still beached there on the gravel. I'm sure they're going to pull him out. They'll consider that's a dangerous position, and they'll probably pull him out. Derek Bell makes room for the third, fourth and fifth guys. Now I should say third and fourth guys, because Schumacher at the moment is a lap down on these two. Just under a lap. David Brabham driving a very, very mature racer. He's keeping those Mercedes off. Jaguar's performing beautifully. Doing everything that Tom Walkinshaw could want of him. He's going to hand this car over in a little while to Derek Warwick. Well, Theo Fabi a little bit further down outside the top six. We've seen nothing of Fabi in this race. There's the current order. So, in fact, Schumacher, having made his pit stop, is ahead of Fabi. He's sixth. Looking better and better for Derek Warwick, because David Brabham will do the first shift of this car. Derek Warwick will do the second and third shifts of it. And Theo Fabi will do two shifts in the number 4 Jaguar. And David Brabham will finish with the third shift. Stefan Johansson and Court still at it, hammer and tongs. How nice to see this Lamborghini working. Very, very impressive showing today. Boding well for the future. They worked very hard on this car this year. They worked all week before Nürburgring to try and get the car to the circuit. They tested at Clifton on the Friday night. They brought the car to Nürburgring on the Saturday. They knew it wouldn't be fit to race, but they still ran it in qualifying just to show that they could do it, to meet their end targets. How excellent to see it here in Mexico, and how very, very good to see it fighting with the Spice. And there is Keke Rosberg coming into the pits for his stop. Door open already. Anything that can save time. Yannick Dalmas getting ready to jump in the car. Rosberg out. Dalmas in. You'll notice their helmets almost identical. Very, very confusing. But we are assured by the team that Rosberg started. Dalmas is taking over. Everything under control. Refueling, tires changed, there's fresh Michelin's going on, windscreen cleared. Brakes off, off we go. Nice stop there for Peugeot, very, very nice stop indeed. No problems, no delay like we saw the Schumacher Wendlinger car have. Out it goes, back into the race. And there in the background, comes the gaggle, the pack. So number 5 at the moment, Philippe Alliot, still holds the lead. That's moved David Brabham up into second, Jean-Louis Schlester third. Bernd Schneider into fourth. And this car we're looking at now, with Yannick Dalmas at the wheel, is still fifth despite stopping. Comes out just ahead of Michael Schumacher. Yannick Dalmas, pole position at Manicourt, and won the race of Keke Rosberg. David Brabham and Michael Schumacher here, fighting it out now. Schumacher flashing his lights at Jesus Pereira, telling the Spaniard to get out of the way. He wants to come through. The superior braking performance of the lighter Mercedes carrying him past the Brunn Porsche there. Now Schumacher still has to unlap himself. Keke Rosberg there doing what I quite like to do at this moment, having a great big drink. David Brabham in the number 3 Jaguar from Michael Schumacher in the number 2 Mercedes. But remember, Schumacher is still 1 lap behind, having made his pit stop. Brabham has to stop yet. Yellow flag still there on that corner. That man's a very brave marshal standing out there on the track. These cars aren't slow through here. It's a 4th gear corner. They're probably doing 140 miles an hour. Michael Schumacher showing what he's made of. This brilliant 22-year-old German must be a future world champion. Down that long straight, and I'm quite convinced Schumacher's going to pass that Jaguar if Brabham doesn't make a pit stop before he can pass him. Jaguar, Mercedes, 3rd place and 6th place. That's just a question of time now. Schumacher noticeably quicker than Wendlinger. He may have the advantage, of course, of fresher tyres. Certainly a dedicated man. Schumacher must have his mind on the job here, but he's got a lot of Formula 1 races to go yet. Joy to watch this. This is real motor racing, seeing 2 of the world's finest cars, the beautiful silk-cut Jaguar and the beautiful Silver Arrows, battling it out around this incredibly fast circuit here in Mexico City. David Brabham must be just about due for his pit stop, surely. Nope, another lap. Down he goes. Schumacher, who won this race last year, Maribaldi and Jean-Louis Schlesser actually finished first, but they were then excluded because the car had too much fuel on board. And Michael Schumacher inherited the win. With Jochen Mass. Sabaldi and Schlesser thrown out. Jochen Mass and Schumacher won the race after that, with the Nissan of Julian Bailey and Mark Blundell second. And the Jaguar of Andy Wallace and Davy Jones third. That race finished in not only controversy, but also rain. All these cars on slicks. And the rain came down in the last quarter of the race. But no such problem today. Not yet, anyway. Those black clouds don't seem to have come any nearer. In fact, you can see the heat haze coming off the track. There is a heat mirage here. The sun's been out for a while. Yannick Dalmas in the number 6 car. Working his way up. And in comes Jean-Louis Schlesser. Now, what are they going to do with that end plate on the Mercedes? I don't think they're going to do anything because the car doesn't seem to be affected by it. But we shall see. The decision is down to Peter Sauber, the team manager. Fuel, wheels. No one's paying any attention at all to that end plate. They've obviously taken the decision. It's not affecting the car. Remember, of course, the rarefied atmosphere here, the aerodynamics aren't as crucial as at some circuits, and quite honestly, it doesn't seem to have made any difference at all. A cursory glance, make sure the wing's not damaged. Schlesser stays in the car. Philippe Alliot still leading the race. He's got to stop yet, remember. And please rejoin us after the break. Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, named after Pedro and Ricardo Rodriguez, Mexico's great motor racing heroes. Those of you who saw Pedro Rodriguez driving those Gulf Porsches in the late 60s, early 70s, my goodness. One of motor racing's finest memories for me, and probably the one man, Pedro Rodriguez, who got me involved in sports car racing. Particularly that drive at Brands Hatch in the wet in 1970. A day that many, many fans will remember all their lives. But this could be a day that Philippe Alliot is going to remember. Here he is leading the 7th penultimate round of the World Championship. He has yet to stop. David Brabham at the moment also has to stop. He's in 2nd place. Bernd Schneider, 3rd place. Everyone else has made their stops now. Don't be fooled by the length of time that Alliot is staying out, because they can decide when they want to come in for their fuel. The car in front of him, the number 6 car, which Yannick Dalmas is now driving, obviously decided they would stop before they'd used much more than 75% of their fuel. Alliot is probably going right on, because we're an hour into the race almost now. Just coming up to the hour mark. Race started at 2 o'clock, it's just coming up to 3 now. Philippe Alliot. Through the S's. There's the gap, 32 seconds between the leading car, this car, the number 5 Peugeot, and David Brabham in the Silk Cut Jaguar. But remember, both of them have to stop yet, so it'll be interesting to see when they stop. What the difference will be when they come out again. Michel Trollet in the Cougar Porsche there, and there comes Gianpiero Moretti bringing out the Momo car that Derek Bell's just handed over to him. Little quiet period of the race at the moment. Once everyone's stopped, we get back into the racing mode. Yannick Dalmas ahead of Philippe Alliot. Pascal Fabre there in the Cougar in between them, although 2 laps down now. Blue flags being waved at the Cougar Porsche driver. Let's let race leader Alliot by. And in comes David Brabham for his stop. Stops in the pits, the Jaguar crew, the TWR crew, leap on the car. Derek Warwick is going to take the car over. There he is, there's Britain's Derek Warwick, the man who could win the World Championship for Jaguar. The usual efficient stop. Remember at Manicourt, they had a fire there, a very serious fire. No problems this weekend there. Making sure there's no problems. Everything checked. Engine on, that's a 34-second stop, and he stalled it. Got it going game though. 34-second stop there. Good one for Jaguar, very, very efficient. Back into the race. There in the background, there's Kurt Oyser coming in. in the Spice. No, he's coming out in the Spice. So Oyser presumably handed over to Charles Voltzmann, his Dutch partner. Derek Warwick there, the man who could win the championship. And here's the Peugeot, the race-leading Peugeot of Philippe Alliot in the pits. Handing over to Maribaldi. There's Alliot in the foreground here, just supervising it. Can't tell you how long the stop was, we missed the start of it, obviously. But we can only presume Maribaldi, when he rejoins the track, will still be in the lead. That's all the main cars are stopped now. We haven't seen Theo Fabi in this race yet at all, the number 4 Jaguar. The car that David Brabham will take over later. Fabi will do 2 shifts. Number 5 Peugeot still leading as far as we can tell. Maribaldi at the wheel. He had a good lead over David Brabham when they stopped, had an even bigger lead over teammate Yannick Dalmas. Very important races for Peugeot. It'll be their 3rd win if they can dominate the race this year. Latin America, big market for them. Peugeot, a worldwide motor company now very much, and almost 6,000 vehicles sold in this part of the world last year. Very much a growing market. Same as for Jaguar and Mercedes, of course. It's a very important market for them too. Not just Mexico, but Latin America. Through the Peraltada. Yes, confirmation John Winter is now driving the car. Or is it Bernd Schneider? Very difficult to see in these cars, you know. It is Bernd Schneider. I'm sorry, the car hasn't stopped. That's why they're in 2nd place. Now, remember, these cars, these Porsches, have a lot less fuel. They're restricted to the amount of fuel they can use for this race. They have to run as Category 2 cars. They're only allowed 219 litres. And they've got to eke out 430 kilometres from that. So they have to run slightly lower revs, measure their pace. They're driving on the fuel computer as much as anything, whereas these guys, the Mercedes, the Jaguars, the Peugeots, are just driving on the rev counter and going flat out. Michael Schumacher coming up behind Gianpiero Moretti.